welcome to you, and thank you for joining the Amman Jazz Festival in acknowledging and celebrating International Jazz Day 2022. We have an illustrious panel of Jordanian jazzers, musicians, singers, festival organizers to have an informal chat, Dardasheh. About our personal do's, don'ts, and never agains, as experienced over these past unique and unprecedented 2 years. Regarding our connections to Jordan and the Amman Jazz Festival, I am Michelle, a consultant to the festival and a regular performer in Jordan since 2014. Lama.
Hi, Michelle. Hi, everyone. This is Lama Hazboun, founder, director of Amman Jazz Festival, and Orange Red, the producer of Amman Jazz Festival. I'm speaking to you from Jordan. I wish everyone is doing well and happy to be here with you.
Thank you. And Ramz.
Hi, my name is Ramz Sahuri and I'm a Jordanian singer. I've participated around 3 times in the Amman Jazz Festival, and I'm happy to be here.
Thank you. Warm welcome to everyone. And Omar.
This is Omar Faqir. I'm a jazz pianist and composer from Jordan. I consider myself a supporter for Amman Jazz Festival, and I performed in the festival for 2 times. Glad to be with you all.
Welcome. And Kamal.
Hi everyone, my name is Kamal Musallam, a Jordanian guitar and oud player and composer. I live in Dubai. I'm talking to you from Dubai, and I've participated several times in the festival, Amman Jazz Festival. I don't know how many times, and I'm very happy to be with you here.
Fantastic. So starting with you, Kamal, do you have a story for us, a do, a don't, or a never again that you've experienced, something that impacted you in the last 2 years and has created a change in your life? Can you share something with us?
Sure. I mean, like for everyone, I believe it was a very rough ride the last 2 years. I personally think that what I should not have done maybe during the last 2 years is thinking that things were going in the same momentum, because let's say in the last 10 years before those 2 years, I was going in a certain speed, doing things, traveling a lot, running from one country to the other, from one project to the other. And then when the train hit the wall, the whole world went into a different speed, and I have not realized it so fast. So I was still going in that same momentum, but it's like you're running fast while everybody else is like a turtle. So in a way, I found myself so much alone into this, and until I realized that I have to pick up a new speed where the world is going, and I have to readapt all my thinking and my planning and my way of doing things to that new speed. So I have to slow down. So when these things happen, when such disasters happen, I think we should quickly learn that there is a change, a real change that we have to understand quickly. If we don't understand it so quickly, then we enter into a dilemma of how to resolve so many problems that will erupt suddenly. So I was a bit slow in learning that slow speed, But as soon as it took me a few months, but as soon as I adapted to it, I understood that there were so many good things to do that I haven't done during my fast speed period, And these were, for example, re-looking at my instrument in a new way and finding time to discover it. Because when you're jumping from one concert to the other to different countries, and we don't have time really to practice properly or study. That's one thing I learned, that I have to create time to study always. Even if I'm so busy, I still have to study. The other thing was that I found that I had so much material that I built in the last 10 years that was kept without really releasing or looking into or editing and I looked at videos from 5 and 6 and 7 years back that I've never thought they existed, and so I had time to look into my archives and my hard drives and my computers and etc. So I think when time is available, a lot of new potential things to do arise, and we usually forget about them when the time is running fast and we don't really realize that. One important thing also I learned to do is to really connect with my family more, which I did not do during my work time. I'm so blinded by work and by occupation of work activities that the family kind of in the back brain, but we don't really physically connect with them. So obviously during COVID years, I had time to connect through Zoom, and I really missed them more in a way.
Yes.
So, and one last thing I want to add to this, which is a don't. It's not a do, it's a don't. Unfortunately, the social media gurus during those times have went much more viral, and they made a lot more money, and they were so present, and they were pushing us to become like them. And it's a trap. I think it's a trap. It was a trap for me. I avoided to fall in the trap. I went more on my social media platforms, obviously during COVID. I put more things and more videos because I had time to do it. But I was just waiting for the time to come back to normal, to just let go of that, because I'm doing music to connect with people in real time, outside, in the stages, in the venues, in the street, wherever that happens, not on a screen. I mean, I played many gigs through screens to people. I played Amman Jazz, I played Dubai Opera, I played this and that festival, but it's not the same thing at all. So for me, no, that's a don't. I will keep posting on social media, fine. I will connect through it. It's a marketing platform. It's my newspaper, let's say. It's my TV. But it's not for a full-time job for a musician, No.
Excellent.
No.
Excellent.
So these are my little things,
Kamal, you've given us a lot of information and many things which I personally feel are very pertinent to all of us. Would somebody else like to add to this? Or tell us, yes, please, go ahead, Ramz.
I'd like to highlight the importance of adaptability during this. I want to just Kamal was talking about having to adapt during that time. And during that time, I found out how important having adaptability in your personality and trying to develop that. On a personal level as well as on a musical level, let's say, because things change all the time. And during COVID, it was like nothing we've ever experienced. So having to adapt to these new circumstances was absolutely important. I don't know if that resonates with anyone else. Okay.
Absolutely, Omar.
Yeah.
I do, of course, I do agree with my colleagues here. But personally, I for the past 2 years, I thought of the COVID circumstances as an opportunity for me, and it's a challenge where you can get something useful out of it. We all know as musicians that our life is on stage. We know that it's when you interact with your audience. This is when you get, the positive vibes and everything. But I thought that we needed an alternative, again, talking about adaptability, an alternative that continue, our passion with people. And and this, when social media comes in, we know that it has a negative and a positive, aspects. And for me, changing this challenge to opportunity and then move out to think of a project where I can connect with people around the world. which, to tell you the truth, it was good lesson for me. I learned many things from people, and it was a good chance to interact with different cultures using the social media, even doing it in a simple way where everyone records remotely, and then we do something all together. So I try to make this as a starting point which will not stop even after the COVID, which is an interruption circumstance. It interrupted everything: education, our lives, normal lives, everything. So from that, I took an opportunity to create a project, which is the One Heart project. So far, it's been 2 years, something. We created 14 tunes with over 30 musicians from around the world, different cultures and backgrounds. This made the 2 years of COVID, easier for me to. The thing that I learned not to do, I learned to do things at the appropriate pace. So as Kamal said, we have time now to meditate, to look into ourselves, to look into what things that usually skip when time goes very fast and quick. So especially when you make music, it really needs the right time to create. And this is what I try to do with different musicians around the world. So things are positive and negatives, but we try to make out of it something positive to share with people.
Excellent. Thank you, guys. You're giving us such amazing insights into what has happened, and everything that you've said has been very, very, very critical and crucial. I think something too that's come up is gratitude. I have been so grateful. I've always been grateful for recording art engineers, studios, all the people that do the work to make me happen. But during this time, I loved them. I had to start recording things and getting microphones and doing all this stuff and Zoom. And I was like, I love my sound engineers with all my heart. Lama, please tell us about the first festival in 2020 during the year of the...
Well, during 2020, we did our best to keep the festival going, and we hosted, we featured like 20 Jordanian bands, local bands, even not non-Jordanians, but they were based in Jordan because it was during the pandemic, the curfew, all these things, and we filmed all the concerts and streamed online. That was a great experience for us, actually. In 2021, we couldn't go on with the Amman Jazz Festival, but we managed to organize the موسيقى Dardasheh, the parallel festival, the non-jazz part of the Amman Jazz Festival. The non-jazz festival, it's an outdoor public event, and that was, to us, it meant a lot because it was not virtual, it was both actually. We filmed and streamed later on.
Live audience, yes.
Yeah, but we had the live audience and we connected with people, and it meant a lot to us and the performers and everyone. We wanted to do that from our hearts. We missed being on stage, all of us. Backstage for me, but the artists were very happy, and you can feel it, and even the audience, they were dancing and happy, and they were very supportive, and we were operating under very hard circumstances. Permits were not possible, it was hard to get, financial support, everything, but we managed. And I'd like to add something to what my colleague said. It was in the pandemic, it was a chance to learn and unlearn things that we thought that this was the only way to do something, and learn new things. We faced something new, like, okay, now you have to operate on the social media, on the digital media, on the digital platforms. You have to be an expert suddenly, like entering a world that we had no idea about. Actually, we did, but from the surface. For me, from my generation, it was not me who was operating using digital platforms, So it was a chance to learn. It was a chance to reconnect with ourselves, our passion, to evaluate many things. our priorities, connect with our families, connect with many things, learn new skills, meet and get to know our friends and families again, all over again, because we suddenly found out that we have people part of our lives, very supportive and very important in our lives, but we don't spend time with them. So what for me personally, I learned that the most important thing is the mental wellness. We have to slow down and take things easy, prioritize our things, connect with our purpose. What is our purpose? So, yeah, this is my point.
These are very interesting observations. What is the purpose? Why are we doing what we do? Apart from the passion and that we can't not do it. We cannot not do it. We have to do it. This is what we are here for. This is what it's about. But I love what each of you has said, which is learning to slow down when the world has slowed down, learning to slow down when everything else has slowed down, but you're still on that fast pace, running ahead, adaptability, versatility, mental wellness, appreciation for those that are helping and doing things that we consider behind the scenes, but which are vital to what we're doing. I'd like to hear a little bit more about some of the things, especially with regard to the 2020 festival. For me, when I watched that, I was, of course, in touch with Lama and the festival while it was being filmed and then broadcast. But I was really very much an audience person because I wasn't there. So when I actually saw it on YouTube, I was just like, wow. To me, it was so well done, so incredibly beautiful. We realized we don't have this from any other festival because everything's normal. We've got people buying tickets and they're coming to the show and they'll take photos and videos and it will get on social media. But this was the first festival where we have the whole festival beautifully recorded. And that was something that I felt was a very big do. If possible, put it in the budget, tell the sponsors, organizers, that this is part of what we do, recording the festival, not just for posterity, but just so that it is there for everybody at all times, not just so we can look at the archive or the history of it. Please add. Yes, Ramz.
Okay, I was trying to unmute myself. It's also made us appreciate technology, and had the pandemic happened maybe, I don't know, 8 years ago, it would not have been the same way. Now we have all the technology that could serve musicians, serve performers, which is lovely. And as you said, I was part of the موسيقى على الدرج during the pandemic, and it was great. Going on a stage and actually participating in an actual musical event, not behind the screen as we did before. So it was like easing ourselves back into going back on stage. And as Kamal said, there's nothing like connecting with people as a performer, but these technologies, the social media, it just facilitates these things, and it's there to make life better, life easier for performers and musicians. That's it.
Fantastic. Yes, Kamal.
Yeah, two small things I want to add. One good side of the social media presence and kind of obligation to be there was to discover a lot of new faces and new musicians that I didn't know of before, because everybody was in one place, which is the Instagram or Facebook, just streaming their thing. So, and we are all the day sitting and watching that. So obviously a lot of new names came up and gave us the chance to connect with them if we want to. The second thing, I felt it brought down a lot of star artists to the same level of those being, because we are all in the same situation, whether you are a beginner, an intermediate, known, super known, or superstar. So everybody was in kind of the same thing. And many of the big stars went on Instagram to start participating and, collaborating with anyone, just anyone there. So they will put videos, for example, double bass players will put videos up there to ask anyone to use them and, put their video with them and share it on Instagram. So it's new things erupted from that situation, which I hope will continue in a way, and we don't go back to the same pattern before, because now we have to live a hybrid situation, which incorporates the previous life we had and the COVID life into a third one now.
Exactly. And I think you're right in that it brought it. And what I found interesting was how the big names, as you said, it was a level playing field. Everybody was on the same level all of a sudden, bang, just like that. And I found it interesting how some of the big names were the first ones to come in and start doing duets. Hey, I'm singing this, come join me, add something to it, like you were saying. And a lot of them are not going to stop doing that. That's become a do. Now, Kamal, don't shoot me down, but I'd like to share a very brief one. While I'm sharing, please be thinking about what you'd like to add to this or contribute further. In 2020, January, I was approached by a company via Instagram, and they asked, would you like to be a live streamer? We'll pay you. Forgive my ignorance. I'd never heard of live streaming. I didn't know what was involved. I knew nothing about it. I'm from the dinosaur era. My husband didn't know. I left it. A week later, I was busy. I was gigging. I'm the jazz girl. A week later, I thought, hey, these guys are going to pay me. What are they talking about? I asked them. I joined. My husband joined. We started doing live streaming. Wow, we know all about it. 2 months later, I lost every gig I had. The virus arrived in Egypt. I had nothing. And live streaming kept my husband and I going for the whole of 2020. And we had other sources of income as well, but it was one of the big sources. He was doing Sufi Mawawil. I was singing jazz the whole time. I was able to keep up my chops, learn more music. I could even stream learning music. Bassists were streaming themselves, rehearsing. And a huge number of big names jumped onto the platform and started streaming as well, which surprised and excited me. I also met another musician in Japan who I've never met in person to this day. We have released 2 singles. We're working on our 3rd single now, and that's purely a collaboration via a live streaming platform. I took a break in 2021 when we started gigging again, but I'm back on the stream. I'm back on it. It's a big do for me. So please, yes, Omar, is that your hand raised?
Yeah, I do. I understand what you're saying, and I think the pandemic had people to spend more time on screen. And to tell you the truth, one of the positive things that I noticed that people start to know about us more. So there's an effort here. There are many musicians here who took long years, working and playing around, maybe going to some festivals. But really with this, we had more exposure to the world now because we are sharing, positive music. We are sharing, some good things with the people. So from this point, people spending more time on screen instead of, looking into some low level kind of music. Now you can see that there's coming from this region, this area, and we have many common things that are happening for the future after the pandemic. People are ready now, musicians are ready now to collaborate with us here in this region, to play along with us. So this thing is going to last. One of the things that I think that going to last, to have this kind of mutual respect and acknowledging, the efforts that are taking place, especially in this region.
Exactly. And I also have found something that was a very big positive regarding not being able to go out, was that because we couldn't go out, everybody had to bring everything to us. So, like Kamal was saying, 1 minute you're running around the world, going to this, going to that, attending this, performing here and there. Now I don't have to get dressed. You don't know what I'm wearing underneath from the waist down. Nobody knows. I can now attend 1 million festivals. I can join a number of different performances, meetings. I can do all of it online, much more than I could ever do before when I had to get dressed, go out, attend, come back, try to attend another one, rush to another one. So nothing will replace live performance? Nothing. And this is something that we've also learned, is that online is incredible. We love it. It's fantastic. Nothing will replace live performance, and the audience knows it. So this hybrid, like you mentioned, this joining of the two worlds so that they kind of become one and not so separate, I think is something we've all learned. Who's raising their hand?
But I support what you're saying, and I think this will, both kind of this digital kind of streaming and the live performance can go hand in hand. I mean, if you can get, if you're just doing some live performance and then you stream it, this is a positive thing. And if you stream things on big screens, this is a positive thing. So yes, they can go hand in hand. It doesn't mean that we leave now, we go back to the natural world on stage. Now we still need to have this social media sharing, appropriate, music to people, so that I think that they will become more stronger attached now after this pandemic.
Exactly. Now, yes, Lama?
Yeah, I was thinking that integrating both virtual and doing hybrid things, this is the thing. I mean, this is the only do that should stay, but not in virtual live concerts. I mean, if a pandemic hits, la sabahana, again, then okay, we can stay virtual. But doing hybrid, going hybrid is really useful, and utilizing the technology to serve us for our service. That's the thing. It shouldn't ruin us. Like the social media, spending most of our time, wasting our time in social media doing unuseful stuff. Yeah, that's a waste of time. That can affect us mentally, or if you're not aware enough. But technology is very useful to us. Now, doing conferences, especially for conferences. Now you can attend the conference in Canada, in the United States, in Europe, without having to travel. Sometimes there's a financial constraint, so you cannot travel, but you still have the chance to attend and meet new people and learn new stuff. So this is a good thing. Yeah. So I hope next year, this year we will be able to present hybrid events, inshallah.
Yes, and yes, go ahead. And thank you. Thank you, all of you, for your insights, because it's all been very, very connected, very pertinent. And I think for me, one of the biggest never agains is simply that I did try to record my voice to help someone with the recording that we were doing. And I put it on and did everything at home. And he sent back to me from Japan and said, please go to the studio. So sometimes it's just a big, you know your limits, how far you can go. That's it. Yes, Omar and Ramz.
Ramz, go please.
One of the never agains for me is never again take anything or anyone for granted again, because we just took so many things for granted, and this pandemic just showed us how we need to just appreciate all the people, the supportive people we love, our families, and just living every day and concentrating on each passing moment. I think that's the never again for me.
I think now we are more ready to any kind of that might, come in the future. We don't know if something else will happen. This time COVID, maybe something else will happen. Now we are, as musicians, we have the equipment to stay alive, on social media. We are ready now. We have the equipment, we have some skills, and we're ready. Anything happens, we can immediately stay connected with our audience. This could be one of the good things that we're learning, technical skills. I'm talking about myself more, dealing with those applications and so forth. So this will just support, my project and my music for the future of any interruption take place.
Kamal?
No, we didn't hear you. You were muted. That's it.
Okay, thank you. So, as you said, we've learned more things, but we've also learned things that we felt we didn't need to know in the past. We love you, Saefan. You know, this Zoom stuff, all of these things. So we have actually increased our skills. We may not be the expert at certain things, but we now understand more about what we were already doing, more about the behind the scenes, more about the recording, more about lighting, etc., cameras. Even if you don't like it, I don't like it. I'll be honest, I don't like it, but I've learned more. So I just want to thank all of you. I think you're amazing. I have personally, I think each and every one of you is amazing anyway. And when Lama said that these were going to be our guests, I was like, oh, how fantastic. So thank you very much. Kamal Musallam, Omar Faqir, Ramz Sahuri, Lama Hazboun, and our Mohammed Saefan. Would anyone like to have a last word as I thank you all, and I thank our viewers for joining us at this fabulous International Jazz Day celebration via the Amman Jazz Festival.
Well, I would just like to invite everyone to check my latest album, which I released during the pandemic, handmade in hummus land. It's a very delicious kind of music. Have a listen on Spotify and wherever you would like to listen to it. We're trying to play it live with real concerts in wherever possible. You know, that's all I wanted to share. I played it live at Dubai Expo, like you said in the beginning, and I'm gonna release the live show soon. Yeah.
As much as we're enjoying the social media, I truly wish that we go back on stage again very, very soon. Talking about the One Heart project, I would like, I'm trying to get musicians to, who participated, making the music to come on one stage with from musicians from the regions and from around the world all together on one stage. So we again celebrate, live music again. So best wishes for everyone.
So thank you, Michelle, for moderating.
I'd like to thank all of you for being here. And I wish really if we can get together during Amman Jazz Festival this year, end of September, and realize all those projects and broadcast live to reach out to the whole world and of course to the Jordanian audience. And thank you once again.